rice production and ensure food security in the country. Also, Ghana National Fire Service steps up safety measures at fuel and gas stations in the country in an effort to minimize avoidable accidents. And a number of Malian soldiers killed and many more missing days after France and its allies announced withdrawal of its forces from that country. Hello, good evening. Good to have you join us. It's News Are Live on GBC News and on GTV, also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Samuela Kwote, and Robert Frimpong Manson is here to translate the news into sign language. Now the news in detail. The government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of Japan for technical assistance from some UN agencies to improve upon the production of rice in Ghana. The $4 million project seeks to ensure food security and provide jobs for farmers in selected areas of the country. Gifty Ajay brings us more.
This is an important commodity in Ghana. The main rice-growing regions in Ghana include Volta and the regions of the north. This staple food and cash crop has over the years seen a steady rise in the consumption rate due to population increase and changes in consumer preferences. However, multiple challenges across the rice value chain are holding back the full potential of this sector towards food security and employment. To help address some of the problems associated with the rice value chain, the government of Japan, through Japan's embassy in Ghana on Friday, signed an agreement with the government of Ghana through the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to ensure that the problem of post-harvest losses especially are reduced drastically. A Deputy Minister for Agriculture in charge of crops, Mr. Yao Frimpong Ado, who initialed on behalf of the government of Ghana, spoke about the timeliness of the partnership, especially when globally countries are having issues in terms of food sufficiency, a situation which has partly been attributed to factors including the outbreak of COVID-19.
This UNIDO Technical Assistance Project has come at the right time to support the promotion of technological modernization and upgrade of rice value chain.
Japan's ambassador to Ghana, in an interview with GBC News, was hopeful that the project will bring about the needed result.
Ghana is very much depending on import of rice for the time being, and we wish to reduce the amount of import from abroad, then increase the own production of rice.
The United Nations Industrial Development Organization, as part of the project, is to provide the technical support. According to the UN resident coordinator, Mr. Charles Paul Abani, there is a huge market for local rice farmers. Mr. Abani says Ghanaian rice farmers are currently feeding only 40% of the population. Areas to benefit from the project are part of the Volta and the Ashanti regions. Reporting for GBC News, Gifty Ajay, Accra.
Now, 4 years after the introduction of the Cocoa and Forest Initiative, Africa's top cocoa producing nations continue to see huge areas of forest being destroyed to make room for cocoa production. This is according to a new data analysis by Mighty Earth, a global advocacy organization. The report reveals that even after the industry published action plans in 2019, Côte d'Ivoire lost 19,421 hectares of forest within cocoa growing regions, and Ghana lost 39,497 hectares, a report by Ofiro Adaku.
Available data indicates Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana lost 80% to 90% of their forest cover over the last few decades, in large parts to make way for cocoa farms. Through a combination of satellite data analysis and on-the-ground field investigations, a global advocacy organization, Mighty Earth, has uncovered evidence of ongoing tropical forest clearance for cocoa. This report unwraps the unsavory side of the cocoa industry and shows the urgent need to break the link between cocoa products and deforestation. At the launch of the new study in Accra, the managing campaigner of EcoCare Ghana, Mr. Obed Usuadai, said that cocoa marketing companies and chocolatiers have a duty to protect the environment or risk losing the commodity they depend on.
We realize that there isn't enough commitment from the chocolate companies to work towards stopping deforestation, and without the trees, the cocoa will not survive. And if you doubt that, look at where we are bringing a lot of cocoa from. It is from western north, western region, parts of the eastern region, Ashanti region, where there are a lot of forests. Somebody called from Goso that he has about 40 trees in his cocoa farm, and that area has been given to a contractor who is going to remove the trees. And when he went there, an old man, 90-year-old man, and they had used red ink to write on the trees, meaning that they're going to fell those trees. So even the trees that are nurtured on cocoa farms, they cannot be guaranteed.
The report recommends the need for the Forestry Commission in Ghana, together with the Ghana Cocoa Board, to ensure that the emerging cocoa management system, which is intended to trace the cocoa supply chain, is designed in a transparent manner so that stakeholders will have trust and confidence in the data generated. For GBC News, Ofreyiwa Darko reporting.
Staff of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation have benefited from a training program in new media to step up content creation for television and net social media platforms. It was a collaboration between the corporation and MTA International.
20% of the center, the first of its kind, will provide media markets is gravitating towards the digital market. The essence of the traditional media is just about 30% or less. Therefore, there is a responsibility on the media market, including the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, to look at how best to harness these potentials, improve itself, and to remain on the digital market platform. Participants learned new skills on digital content production with the use of images to tell a story, how to couch catchy captions, as well as demonstrating their project works for assessment. The MTA International trainer is Mr. Hafiz Khan.
All around the world, how the digital platform has now been embraced by all broadcasters, not just news broadcasters, but every single broadcaster that's out there is using the digital technology. People are not watching the TV as much as they used to watch. All their information they get from now is on them digital devices, their iPads, their mobile phones. And generally for the younger age, they are the ones that are the future, and how we attract their eyeballs onto our information, our content.
The Deputy Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Mr. Augustus Yamson, advised participants to produce exceptional and rich content to glue viewers to GBC channels on both TV and social media platforms. The Acting Director of Television, Mr. Ebenezer Ampabing, believes the training will enhance GBC's relevance in the media space.
We have come a long way as a broadcaster, but if we don't get in tune with current trends, we will find ourselves increasingly becoming irrelevant. So this course is going to help us stay current and reach many more platforms across the world, so that our news and programs can reach as many people as possible, and that our mandate also as a public service broadcaster will be felt by all.
Some participants shared their experience and knowledge acquired.
Now, this demand is about new media. New media has to do with the new way of communication. Call it Twitter, call it Instagram, call it Facebook. Social media conversations. Basically, we're taking it from the hardcore conversation into a more conversational medium.
It has awakened new ideas in my mind. It has taught me how the very creative ways of putting information on social media platforms. And I hope all these will be brought to bear on our programs from now on.
We now go to Parliament because the Parliamentary Press Corps now has a press centre in Parliament. The fully furnished centre commissioned in Accra on Friday is to enhance the work of the Press Corps and provide professional and timely reports from Parliament.
Kind will provide the Parliamentary Press Corps the ease to compile their reports and conduct ample research with the provision of computers and other accessories. The journalists were encouraged to make optimum use of the facility for timely reportage.
I expect the Public Affairs Department, which we have planned to rechristen, restructure, and strengthen soon, to work with the various media houses to ensure that media personnel who are assigned to Parliament have a certain profile of seniority, experience, and professionalism.
The Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Alban Bagbin, spoke against the culture of silence and urged the media to be responsible and impartial in their reportage.
Any attempt by any politician hiding behind the police institution to act as the standard bearer of ethical and professional journalism or the regulator of journalism practice in this country is not only a pretender, but also a megalomaniac. The police cannot assume responsibility for responsible media practice in Ghana by scanning newspapers and news portals and arresting journalists for errors and misrepresentation.
The Parliamentary Press Corps is an association of journalists who sit in the press gallery and report proceedings from Parliament to audiences from respective media outlets. Instituted in the Fourth Republic, the Parliamentary Press Corps is made up of a 7-member leadership. For GBC News, Yaira Lawe reporting.
At the just-ended Global Disability Summit, co-hosted by Ghana and Norway, persons living with disability are asking to be given the opportunity to participate and contribute to national development and also benefit from developmental interventions. The Programs Officer with the Ghana Federation of Disability Organization, Mr. Adam Abdul-Wahab, was in our studios early on and called on government to remain committed to recommendations at the summit.
Was to get governments and civil society organizations and the private institutions to commit to issues that will actually promote inclusive development by getting the various governments globally to say we are going to do A, B, C, and D. But the focus was on areas like inclusive education, inclusive health, inclusive employment, and also inclusion of persons with disabilities in humanitarian crises and emergencies, as well as developing the capacity of organizations of persons with disabilities to be able to discharge their mandate and follow up on those commitments, where we are expecting each state to implement inclusive education policy to ensure that persons with disability are able to participate in academic activities on equal basis with others, but not to be segregated and be in different schools like school for the deaf, school for the blind, and whatever. We're also looking at government committing to inclusive health by removing the various barriers that hinders effective access to health among persons with disabilities. And also, and again, we have situations where when there are crises and conflicts, persons with disabilities are always left behind. There have been some situations in Ghana. There are crises. I can make reference to Boko, where a blind man was burned to ashes just because he couldn't get that support. But government has committed to say that, okay, we are going to implement programs or put policies in place to ensure that we include issues of persons with disabilities in our humanitarian and conflict emergencies.
The Akintima Piaminka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development in Tanosonia Kumasi has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with German Development Corporation, GIZ, Ghana Skills Development Initiative, to develop and promote technical and vocational education training, TVET. GIZ is funding the one-year project with 609,000 euros. A total of 1,450 people would be trained under the project and would cover training of selected teachers of TVET colleges of education in diploma in education.
Government's commitment to consolidate the teaching and learning of TVET received further boost following the signing of the MOU between the nation's premier technical, vocational and educational institution, Amusted, formerly Kumasi and Mampon campuses of the University of Education, Winneba, is now well equipped to produce graduates to meet Ghana's skills and technology requirements. The Vice Chancellor of Amusted, Professor Frederick Safo, who initialed for his university, was confident that the teaching and learning of TVET will enhance the skills of both teachers and students in the colleges of education and other sectors as specified in the MOU.
I'm glad to inform you that a total of 1,450 people will be trained under this phase of the project. It must be emphasized that these activities in the agreement are directly in line with the mandate of the university to train teachers and workplace facilitators with the relevant competencies in TVET and entrepreneurial development in support of government agenda of job creation and economic development.
The head of TVET unit at GIZ, Lee Lambrecht, said the agreement will further enhance the cordial relations that exist between Ghana and Germany. She hoped Amusted will ensure that all the objectives outlined in the project will be fulfilled.
This act gives Amstead the mandate to provide higher education in TVET to develop skilled manpower for job creation and economic development. The mandate also empowers Amstead to award up to doctorate degrees in TVET, giving it the potential of transforming TVET in Ghana.
The principal of Mampon Technical College of Education, Mrs. Doris Boachansa, stressed the importance of technical, vocational and education training in job creation and socio-economic development. The Director General of TVET, Dr. Alfred Asamoah, hoped the project would help Ghana meet her agenda of producing skilled labor to reduce unemployment.
Now to some health stories. The Ghana Grid company, Gridco, has presented two brand new orthopedic power drills to the Accident, Emergency and Orthopedic Center of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The power drill, according to Gridco, is to help the hospital perform the many trauma surgeries that have been cancelled for the lack of power drills.
Orthopedic drills are mainly used to reconstruct cruciate ligaments during surgery. Most of the time, they are used for drilling. The power drilling during accident surgery is used for bone reconstruction surgeries to treat injured bones. The power drill is critical in fracture surgery. Currently, there are only two power drills at the Accident, Emergency and Orthopedic Center of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital instead of a minimum of 10, which is needed for effective operation. According to management of the hospital, the Accident, Emergency and Orthopedic Centers have cancelled a number of surgeries at the hospital for the lack of power drills. Presenting the power drills to the hospital, the Director of Strategic and Corporate Services, Mr. Kofi Okofo-Date, said the donation is part of the company's corporate social responsibility and hope that it will go a long way to help the hospital perform its mandate effectively. According to the head of department at the Accident, Emergency and Orthopedic Center, Dr. Frederick Kwatin, the hospital is in dire need of the power drill and asked other institutions to support the department.
Management of St. Mark Hospital in Dunkwa on Ofen in the Upper Dentra East Municipality of the Central Region say the facility is in dire need of equipment to enable it to provide quality healthcare services. The hospital administrator, Dr. Akapere Godwin, has therefore appealed to the government and benevolent organizations to come to their aid.
St. Mark Hospital serves communities in Upper Dentra and neighboring communities. The facility, however, lacks medical equipment such as homological machine, anesthesia machine, surgical items and beds. It is to support operations at the facility that management of the Royal Galaxy International School presented items such as theatre gowns, stethoscope, surgical nose mask, lab coat, NG tubes, needles, dry suction set, digital thermometer, Macintosh and syringes to the hospital. The proprietors of Royal Galaxy International School, Mrs. Gifty Tiwabuedi, said the donation is to create awareness and motivate others to support healthcare providers in the country. The administrator of St. Mark Hospital, Dr. Kapiri Godwin, called on all benevolent organizations to support the hospital. He also urged the public to continue adhering to COVID-19 safety protocols.
The Medical and Dental Council has introduced a number of reforms to ensure professionalism among practitioners while protecting patients. The reforms, among other things, seek to provide easy identification of the practitioner and a specialist register to ensure that practitioners do not indulge in practices outside their areas of competence. These were disclosed at the induction of 450 medical doctors and dentists who constitute the 2021 batch. A report by Sarah Fori.
I promise to hold in high esteem.
The newly qualified doctors and dentists are from the University of Ghana Medical and Dental Schools, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, School of Medicine and Dentistry, University of Development Studies, School of Medicine and Health Sciences, and foreign-trained doctors who passed the Council's registration examination.
Your transition from yesterday's students to professionals today implies that human lives are now being directly entrusted in your care. In that is, what this means is that from today, a greater responsibility in the care of patients will be laid at your feet as you take the role of frontline professionals. This role literally includes the responsibility to decide between life and death.
Administering the Hippocratic Oath, the chairman of the Medical and Dental Council, Professor Paul Nyame, entreated the graduates not to cease learning and practice within the remit of their competence.
You must never stop learning. Once you stop learning, you cease being a doctor. Practice within the limits of your skills and competence. There are too many cowboys going around doing things they shouldn't be doing. Avoid avarice and thirst for glory, and never at the expense of the reputation of your colleagues. Confidentiality in the handling of information about patients and clients is very important, especially in this age of social media.
The Deputy Minister for Health, Mr. Mahama Seini, described as unacceptable the numerous claims of medical negligence, improper conduct and unethical behavior of medical and dental practitioners.
The introduction of the practitioner's stamp, name tag, and appropriate professional apparel policy to enforce professional standards and promote easy identification of the various categories of practitioners working within the healthcare space. And the specialist register to ensure that practitioners do not indulge in practice completely outside their area of competence.
With government's Agenda 111 in the offing, Mr. Saini said government remains committed to the construction and equipping of 101 district hospitals, 7 regional hospitals, 2 psychiatric hospitals, and redeveloping the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. The graduates will serve as house officers for 2 years, after which they are free to practice at a place of choice. Sarah Fori, GBC News, Accra.
You're watching News live on GBC News and on GTV. You also stream live on Facebook and on YouTube at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Now, also in this package, 367 cadets have graduated from the Ghana National Fire Service Training School in Accra. The parade for Cadet Intake 21 was colorful, with a call on the officers to exhibit the highest professionalism, dedication, and loyalty to the service and subordinates.
Of the 367 graduating cadets, 127 were females and 240 males. They are graduating as service officers who are eligible for promotion into the Senior Office Corps, having passed the promotion examination and selected process. The training program was tailored to expose the officers cadets to managerial skills and tenets of officership required at the Senior Officer Corps of the Ghana National Fire Service. The Minister for the Interior, Mr. Ambrose Derry, commended the management and men of the fire service for their efforts in dealing with all fire incidents in the country. He urged them to intensify fire safety education, including sensitization in the handling and management of hazardous materials by members of the public to curb the undesired outbreaks of fire.
The decision taken by Ghana National Fire Service to upgrade the status of its serving officers is one that is in consonance with the government's policy of continuous education and training for all service personnel to ensure high professional standards.
The Cadet Intake 21 officer cadets are commissioned to the Assistant Divisional Officer Grade 2 to mark the completion of the training program. There were awards for 4 deserving cadet officers. Vida Mwakun was the overall best cadet officer. Cadet Officer Millicent Anubis Ankra was the best in academics. Cadet Officer John Abremkwa was the best in foot drill, and Cadet Officer Maxwell Tete had the Commandant's Award. A minute silence was observed for those who lost their lives through fire outbreaks in the country.
The Ghana National Fire Service has stepped up efforts at improving on safety at fuel and gas stations across the country. This is to improve on safety consciousness of attendants and the public. By this, the Asante Achim Central Municipal Command of the Ghana National Fire Service has begun the safety campaign at fuel and gas retail outlets across the 4 municipal and districts within its operational area.
Fire safety education and awareness campaign by the Ghana National Fire Service started about 2 months ago. The campaign is to help minimize the rates of fire outbreaks, particularly at the fuel and gas stations in the Asante Achim Central Municipality, Asante Achim North, Asante Achim South, and Bosume Freho districts. More than 50 fuel station managers and gas station operators were taken through various theories on fire safety and hands-on approach in handling fire outbreaks, including the use of fire extinguishers. The Deputy Operations Officer at the Konongo Fire Service Station, ADO2, Anthony Kobina Barnes, advised fuel and gas pump attendants and the public to comply strictly with fire safety precautions at the retail outlets. The Konongo Municipal Fire Commander, DO3 Richard Aweso, expressed worry over the increased rate of road crashes on Kumasi-Accra Highway, which has claimed many lives. He asked all to be safety conscious. Participants were grateful to the Ghana National Fire Service for taking them through the safety exercise.
Now, reports indicate that the Upper East Regional Chief Imam, Sheikh Al-Hajj Tahir Sahid has died. According to the public relations officer for the chief imam, Mohammed Sakaria Asakia, he died on Sunday afternoon at the Upper East Regional Hospital after a short illness. The chief imam was installed on 12 December 2021. He served as the deputy regional chief imam for over 20 years under the leadership of his predecessor, Sheikh Al-Haji Yusuf Adam. He was 79 years. His burial will take place tomorrow. You're still watching User Live on GBC News and on GTV. We'll be back shortly. Please stay.
Money services, internet, and all other services linked to your SIM card if you don't.
To register, dial *404# and follow the prompts. You will be required to send the following details on your Ghana card. Ghana card number, surname, first name, date of birth, and sex.
You will then receive a special code which you will present to your nearest service provider agent or customer care center for your biometric details to be captured. Remember to add your digital address.
Dial *404# on your phone to start registering your SIM card today.
For more information, contact your service provider on 100 or the National Communications Authority on toll-free number 0800 110622. Register your SIM card to stay connected.
Joe, where are you? Timmy.
You're welcome back. Now let's do business. The maiden governing board of the Cybersecurity Authority has been inaugurated in Accra. The Minister for Communication and Digitalization, Mrs. Eslausu Kufo, who doubled as the chairperson for the board, called on members to work to work closely with the soon-to-be inaugurated Joint Cybersecurity Committee, as well as other non-governmental actors, including the private sector and other civil society organizations, in the development of Ghana's cybersecurity agenda.
The Cybersecurity Authority, CSA, was established by the Cybersecurity Act, Act 1038, to regulate and promote cybersecurity activities in the country. The authority has the mandate to prevent, manage, and respond to cybersecurity threats and cybersecurity incidents, ensure a secured and resilient digital ecosystem, among others. By this, the maiden board to govern the activities of the Cybersecurity Authority has been inaugurated in Accra. The chairperson, who doubles as the Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Mrs. Esla Usu-Ekufu, said Ghana has made remarkable progress in cybersecurity evolution in the last 5 years by placing third in Africa and 43rd globally in the area of cybersecurity development.
Can't sustain our efforts at building our digital economy without focusing on cybersecurity, because cyber attacks could undermine all our gains in digitalization. It could destroy our social and economic well-being and our national security. We've made significant progress in the last 5 years, but for me, there are still baby steps that we're taking. Even though the strides that we've made has attained global recognition and placed Ghana third on the African continent and 43rd globally in the latest Global Cybersecurity Index of the International Telecommunications Union.
Other members of the board are Mr. Albert Kandapa, Mr. Ambrose Derry, Mr. Dominic Nitiwo, Dr. Albert Intribuesiako, Professor Boating Onwuma Ajiman, Mr. Carl Saki, and Madam Adelaide Beneprempe.
Still in business, the University of Mines and Technology, UMAT, is closing the gap between academia and industry with a focus on industrialization. The School of Mines wants students to understand the concept of industrialization right from school. UMAT has therefore organized its maiden Distinguished Speaker Series in collaboration with the Minerals Income and Investment Fund, MIF, to propagate industrialization.
Ghana's current focus is to add value to the many natural resources available. It is a shift from an import-led economy to an industrial one, given the strategic role it plays in developing professionals for the country's key economic sectors. The University of Mines and Technology is seeking to close the gap between academia and industry with an eye on industrialization. The UMAT Distinguished Speaker Series will be the platform that draws strategies for industrialization. Professor Richard Akwesiamankwa is the Vice Chancellor of the university.
The idea is to have our Faculty of Engineering promote an agenda in industrialization. It's all about making sure that Ghana develops. It's all about making sure that the university contributes towards the agenda that the President has set.
The maiden Distinguished Speaker Series was on the theme Supply Chain Management, Africa's Industrialization, Long-Term Socio-Economic Development and Stability, the Inextricable Link. Board Chairman of the Minerals Income and Investment Fund, Professor Douglas Boating, called for bold and deliberate industrialization policies which will link all sectors of the economy.
Education is a big industry, and through industrialization and supply chain principles, we can harness and create jobs for our educators. You know, Nigeria alone spends over 500 million every year taking their kids to UK. I don't see why they cannot come to Ghana. Even if we get 20% of that, that is $100 million to our economy.
And finally, in business, the Ghana Insurers Association's new board is poised to ensure fair and just treatment for the insuring public and protect them against any fraud. The board members will serve a period of 2 years and also ensure the continuous growth of the insurance industry in the country.
Ghana Insurance Association seeks, among other things, to protect, promote and advance the common interest of insurers, reinsurers and the insuring public, and also do all things that may be necessary, proper or advisable for the general advancement of insurance business in Ghana. At its changeover ceremony in Accra, the outgoing president, also the 10th and first female president, Mrs. Aretha Abna Abrefi Duku, thanked all for their support during her tenure in office. The new president of the association, Mr. Seth Kobla Aklasi, who is also the managing director of Danwell Insurance Company Limited, outlined plans for the new board of governors.
We have come to a point where we need to empower and resource a key person at GIA whose job will be to study all new laws and regulations that are going to Parliament. This person is to raise an alarm if there is anything in any new law, be an act or an LI, that is inimical to the insurance industry. We have not fared too well there like other industry associations, and it is paramount we pay the necessary attention to this.
Admitting challenges in the insurance industry, the executive chairman of Gridco Group urged the new leaders to adopt an all-hands-on-deck approach to make the insurance attractive to all.
They must be assured that the insurers are positioned to give them the needed returns on their investments. In this vein, it is necessary for insurance companies to increase the premium by competing on quality of service and not on price alone.
The Ghana Insurance Association, GIA, is a trade association for all licensed insurance and reinsurance companies in Ghana. The association was registered under the Companies Code 1963 Act 179 in May 1998. The new board will serve for 2 years.